Alright, the Hittites opened up this turn with a, they won the initiative. They used their infantry. Not because they really wanted to attack with the infantry, but because they wanted something that it didn't matter if they did a rally action with. They took some rallies here. For the most part, the infantry just stood where it was and fired. One unit could rotate it in place and made a flank attack, which didn't work. I found a unit over here that was engaged. It had too many hits, so I routed that. Not a lot of effect there, except, hey, I got to rally a couple of units and it turned out to be the front of the line, which is kind of nice. On follow-ups, Hittites failed on a momentum to try to do some standoff attacks here and try to rally some more units. And then the Assyrians got to move this wing, and you can see they pretty much demolished their opposition. For a while, it looked like the Hittites were going to do okay there, but they're pretty much wiped out now. And the route stack just keeps getting bigger and bigger. If the Assyrians can break through to that. And there's a couple rallied units here in the front, so it's not trivial. They either have to break the infantry or push through here with stuff that's not terribly ready to fight. So, yeah, they might be better off just trying to win the battle rather than do the route point thing. We got this interesting situation going on here where these guys are just still trapped in there. They've got no way out, although I did move one of the units that was kind of blocking, but this one's now blocking. Ooh, yeah, they can't move next to a unit. They could route out of there because there aren't chariots everywhere, but they can't actually move adjacent, and they're being picked off, very slowly, but there's nothing they can do unless somebody breaks them out. Kind of an unlikely situation, I'd say. And the Hittites got a couple actions in a row with the 1st Division, which they didn't really want to do anything with. It's mainly routed here. And then the 2nd Division, which they moved up for that standoff attack, which isn't terribly effective, but it gives them some advantage and they can pull away if and when the Royal Guard charges. They got a couple of hits in with it. And during all that time, they're rallying just about everything. There's only one unit here that's routed still. Plus what they've got up here that they left behind. The Assyrian infantry finally got its chance to go, and, well, they were basically facing those lights, and they had most of them in a situation where the lights couldn't really get away. They maybe had a roll. Withdrawing with infantry is harder than with chariots, so they have to make a roll to do it. One of them took a damage from that. Others were in a situation maybe they were too weak to do it, or they were already essentially engaged. One of the Assyrian shock troops got defeated here by the missilemen and their knives or whatever. But for the most part, you can see they've been swept out of the way. We've got one of the shock units up against these routed guys, so if I get another trigger, I can start hunting them. It looks pretty bad. Well, with all these guys rallied, it's not such a big deal. I thought the big route pool's open. It's not really. There's a lot of rallied stuff in the front now. So that infantry is facing a recovered Hittite force standing there. But we can see we've got some serious losses here on both sides. But the Hittites have more trouble. So that's 5 off our Assyrians. Oh no, the Hittites actually are doing better right now. And 9 off the Hittite. So it's 21-19. Yeah, it's definitely a nail biter. This may end up with both sides going negative at the end, which is always kind of an interesting situation. So many of the battles end up blowouts, even if they are supposedly balanced. Sometimes they go the other way too when they're supposedly unbalanced. There's a lot of luck in this system, and I like that about it. And things finish off with the Royal Guard slashing forward and just crunching into, many of the chariots just pulled away. And they do a lot of damage when they're running away, at least if I'm doing things right, where they get to shoot every time they're chased. And they get chased several times. And it kind of makes sense. If somebody's actually chasing you and you're just firing arrows after arrows into them, you're probably going to do more damage than if you stand off and are trying to fight with the chariots in some sort of line formation. It's not like you just park and start shooting, which is what the game looks like. You're probably riding around and moving around and trying to get some kind of edge or another. Whereas this, you're just really actually being chased. Of course, you're facing the wrong way, which feels funny, but okay. So these guys are probably looping around too. Maybe they should only be allowed to fire once in that case. I've got some cleanup to do. The only thing that was actually lost permanently is one 4-pointer Hittite. Which brings down to 17 to 19. Damn close. Alright, on to another turn, I guess. Well, after what seemed almost like a lull in the battle last turn with the all the recovery going on and some of those units just not doing much, finished up the mop up here with the first Assyrian action. May not have been the brightest thing to do, I'm not sure. What I really wanted to do was move the infantry. But here's the problem with the infantry. They fatigue when you move them. So they're probably not going to trigger twice, but these guys certainly aren't either. The Royal Guard, I don't really want to take them. They're kind of tired, and I'm not sure I really want to do them right now. So it's kind of tough to figure out what to do. And it's not like I have a lot of rally actions I want to take care of. A couple. It's just, and I didn't want to move the infantry because they're helping blockade this poor guy here. So I don't know what I should have done. This was probably not the best move, but it felt like I needed to do it. Kill that unit. Get my chariots swinging around the back where they can get at the meat. Well, the second action was the Assyrian infantry, and they pushed forward, finished off what was in their way really, and started hitting some of the routed units. Here's the results of that, which is 7-12 points, right? 9-12, yeah, whatever. I can count. And that is more than the Hittites have. So they're now 11, down to negative. Hey, it's got a different color on the different sides. Cool. So it looks like the Assyrians have won, but it's still possible that they could lose more points than the Hittites have. They have 19 points to lose. I think the Assyrians have made their big push in this turn. It was the infantry. Everything else looks a little iffy, like it's not going to produce a lot of points. But you never know. I mean, we got another routed unit up there that can be hit, and I think, nah, I'm not in range, so I can't reactivate those infantry. That was kind of dumb. Well, I could after if the Royal Guard goes first. We'll see. Well, Wing 2 came up, killed some more routed unit, or another routed unit, I think. And then the Hittite infantry got to go, and they caused units on both sides to rout, and, well, leave the battle, actually. But there was a rally involved in there. One thing I wanted to point out, though, with that Assyrian attack, it was led by the bowmen. Those composite bowmen charged forward, shot up. Sure, routed units, no problem, but they're shooting up a chariot here, which could have run away, but it doesn't have... First of all, it doesn't have a composite bow. Secondly, it got hit from the side, and then the front, it could have run away safely, but it was already getting screened back here. It's kind of interesting to watch the light infantry charging a chariot like this. They can't actually engage it in melee, but it's just kind of cute. The momentum check, I don't remember what I used it for. Rallies, I think, for the Hittites, and then the Royal Guard came smashing in, hit some of the routed units, smacked up this guy. It's getting ugly. Point-wise, we're up to negative 24 now. I think it's way out of reach, especially since there are not a lot of chips left. Well, the last two chips were an Assyrian momentum, which they failed, and the Hittite Chariot Division 5, or 3, or whatever, took its revenge out on those light infantry. And I saw something I don't think I've seen in an SPQR battle. One chariot slammed into 2 light infantry, hitting them not just the one chariot, obviously, in the great battles of history so far, especially with the SPQR stuff. I haven't seen this. One chariot slammed into 2 units, yes, flank attacks, attacker superior and everything, but managed to do 8 points of damage to them, wipe them both out, hold its own position without any risk at all. Bang! Took out 4 units total with these 3 chariots. Light infantry just does not stand up to them. In fact, because they were flank attacks, the addition for being multiple units was canceled out by that, and it's attacker superior, so it did like 2 to 8 or 1 to 8 or something like that. But that's the game. That's all we got for this one. None of those casualties translated over, so we've got negative 24 to 15. And I really liked this one. This was a very good battle. The flat open terrain, all the different types of toys in it. You got your runners. You got, well, not everything. We saw more in Kadesh because we had the heavy infantry and we had the barbarian infantry there. But the terrain and everything made that kind of weird, and it was nowhere near as close a battle. This one, I felt like it was in the balance really until the end. Situationally, it looked like the Assyrians were winning throughout most of it. But point-wise, the Hittites were in there and close. And I wasn't certain until this turn, really. Until the chits started coming out and the infantry was able to get its hit in. I don't think there was a way around it, looking back in terms of this late in the game. I think the strategies were actually pretty good ones. In terms of, well, certainly for the Assyrians it worked out well, right? But even for the Hittites, I felt like what they were doing was pretty good. Their infantry just couldn't hold up against the Assyrian stuff, so that was cool. Alright, I don't know if I'm going to do another one of these right away or something else, so load this one up.